Welcome to Bratislava in Slovakia for round 2 of the 2019 ICF Canoe Slalom World Cup. It's semi-finals time. 30 boats, the fastest 30 boats from the heats, racing it out for just 10 places in the final. Well, this venue here in Canoe is about 20 kilometers outside of the city center of Bratislava on the famous River Danube. And we're set for the racing to get underway here. It's men's C1, the men's canoe singles time. 30 boats have been narrowed down from the original 56 boats starting. And they race in reverse order of that heats performance. So the fastest from the heats will go off last. And some big names racing in this competition. And just 10 places up for grabs in the final. There we have Denis Gargochenou of France, the reigning Olympic champion, has had a disappointing season so far this season. Can he get his season back on track today? Takuya Haneda, bronze medalist for Japan at the Rio Olympics. Franz Anton, the world champion of Germany from last year. All lined up for the action here. So last weekend we were in Lee Valley in London for round 1 of the World Cup. Now here in Bratislava we are underway with racing, and our first competitor, wearing Thomas Kirchlin, wearing bib number 17 for Switzerland, is now coming down this tricky course section. Course designers, well, they've set a big challenge here. Maritzel Rodriguez and Pierpaolo Ferrazzi. Pierpaolo, of course, the Olympic champion from the 1992 Olympics in Barcelona. They've set a difficult challenge. Fast and clean is the name of the game. And all these competitors, it's a single run in this semi-final, and it's down to the top 10 paddlers will progress through to the final. That final gets underway at midday today, Central European time, and they race off in reverse order of this semi-final performance. So Thomas Kirchlin of Switzerland picked up an early 2-second penalty on the upstream gate 3, but looking very smooth now as he comes into this next part of the course. It's an offset sequence of downstream gates. The green and white downstream gates need to be negotiated in a downstream direction, and red and white gates in an upstream direction. Tricky little sequence then over the big drop here at Bratislava, the feature drop called Niagara, and into the upstream gate 21. Very tight indeed. Now paddling across to the upstream gate 22, and another tidy approach. So that blemish on the first few gates, that touch on gate 3, well, spoilt there again by another touch on 23. But Thomas Kirchlin of Switzerland goes into first place. Those 2 touches, 4 seconds of penalties adding on to his time. 1:09.21 is the time. But I think we're going to be looking at a time of around about, well, certainly going to be close to the 100, if not under 100, to make it through. So next on course from the People's Republic of China, it is Weiyan Zhu taking on this top section of the course. And, well, looking tidy at the moment. A lot of time in the top section as well, but there you can see it. 5.13 seconds up on Kirchlin of Switzerland already, and now coming into the middle grandstand section here on this Bratislava course. Tricky little spin sequence. Downstream through 11, downstream through 12, and then you've got to cross the fast-flowing water into the upstream gate 13. A little bit sticky on 12, and that 2-second penalty now confirmed by the judges. So no margin for error. That will have eaten into that advantage from early on in the run. But Weiyan Zhu of the People's Republic of China still holding an advantage at this stage. But another penalty on the downstream gate 17 on this tricky offset downstream sequence is certainly not helping as he comes over Niagara. look at the speed on the boat. Precision is the name of the game, and a 50-second penalty incurred on the upstream gate 21. And if you're not sure about the rules of canoe slalom, well, it's all about getting the whole of your head between the poles and in the right direction. Green and white gates in the downstream direction, red and white gates in an upstream direction. And if you don't get a whole head correctly through the gate, then you incur a 50-second penalty. And unfortunately for Weihan Zhu of the People's Republic of China, that's the situation, and into third place. But now on course, the home crowd will be watching with excitement here and anticipation, because it's Michal Martikan of Slovakia on course, a legend of the sport of canoe slalom, 5-time Olympic medalist. He's a 4-time world champion. He's won everything that you can win in this sport, and he has dominated the sport, but he's not won any of those titles since 2007. So can we see some vintage Martikan here? Well, he's certainly set off well. 5.27 is the advantage from the top section, and it takes the move on forwards. Really great stuff there. Having to work a little bit hard into 13, but Michal Martikan is attacking this course. We'll get a next indication of the split as he comes in and out of the upstream gate 14. But Michal Martikan, he didn't look great. It took 2 rounds in yesterday's heats to get through into this semi-final. But look, he has extended the advantage to 8.82 seconds. So he's certainly got the opportunity to set the new pace. Remember though, everybody still can chase down that time, but look how precise he is on the upstream 21. And Michal Martikan using that knowledge of this course. He's actually based in Liptovský Mikuláš, just up the road in Slovakia, a couple of hours drive from here in the Tatra Mountains, but regularly trains on this course in Bratislava, and now crosses the finish line into first place, 97.19 seconds. Michal Martikan of Slovakia taking the race lead. That's the time to chase. So 4 boats down in this men's C1 semi-final, and the next up for Slovenia, it is Ondřej Berčič. Now, Ondřej Berčič is a 2-time World Cup winner. He was 16th at last year's World Championships, and well, he's 17th his world ranking in the ICF World Rankings, and looking to take on this course. Can he get close to that time set by Michal Martikan? That's a great time, but it does now include a 2-second penalty on that last gate. He certainly was close to the pole, and that's now been added on. So 99.19 is the time to chase in order to take the race lead. Remember, 30 boats here, it's racing for just 10 spots in that World Cup final. That final gets underway midday today, Central European time. Ondřej Berčič negotiating the middle section opposite the grandstand here in Bratislava. Tidily, but not quite as fluidly, I think, as Michal Martikan of Slovakia. As we look at the split time, he is down on that split time. The question is how much? Well, 3 seconds down, and drama there for Ondřej Berčič. Trying to use the water to his advantage, and the water just rejected him and has to paddle round. That's a big, big time loss, and very difficult to come back and make it into that top 10 and into the final on that kind of mistake. Another mistake there. Now, as the athletes come into this upstream gate 21, then they're wanting to be really tight in the upstream. That's where the fast line is, but you can see the pace they bring into that upstream. And, well, it's just precision, and if you don't quite get it right, you risk taking a penalty, either a 2-second penalty, or if you get it completely wrong, then a 50-second penalty, as we saw with Weihan Zhu of the People's Republic of China. And only into third place at the moment for Ondřej Berčič of Slovenia. Michal Martikan leading the way for Slovakia at this stage after 5 boats, but 25 boats still to go. And the next up, representing France, it is Martin Thomas. He was 7th last weekend in Lee Valley, and he took a European Championship silver medal earlier on this season. So Martin Thomas has had a good start to the season, but that's a difficult start in the upstream gate because he had to go round again for the upstream gate 6. And now showing a 2-second penalty, so down on the split time for Martin Thomas, and the penalties mounting up here. So important to find a rhythm in the top part of the course and build into your run. And the way the course design has been set, it was the same in the heats as well, then it's quite difficult to get that groove. Tricky little move, and if you don't quite get it right, deliver it on the top section, it can be really hard to refocus and find that to pace. Martin Thomas there, just showing his patience there, using the white water as he sets up now for this double upstream gate over Niagara. And that's actually a good line. It's a little bit safer using the white water. It helps them set up, but stuck a little bit on the eddy line of 22. You can see the time lost there. Couple of strokes, well, that's probably a couple of seconds. As Martin Thomas of France now comes into the finish line and into second place, but 6.29 seconds down on our current race leader, Michal Martikan of Slovakia. So next up for the Russian Federation, Alexander Nepogodin, coming down through this tricky section. This is where I was saying it's so important to find your rhythm, but the gate sequence not straightforward here, particularly this move, 4-5, and then getting a really nice run into the upstream gate 6 here on the left-hand side. Alexander doing a good job there. And in the sport of canoe slalom, so important to work in harmony with the white water. There we are, in touch with our current race leader, just 200ths down on Michal Martikan of Slovakia. And, well, Alexander takes on the move through gate 11 forwards. Spin on 12. Now he'll surf the wave into 13. Does that nicely, but he does have that 2-second penalty picked up on the downstream gate 10. A little bit eager to set up that tricky downstream sequence 10, 11, 12 and pay the price of a 2-second penalty added onto his time. Well, he's still in touch. Alexander Nepogodin of the Russian Federation now sneaking through 18, 19, 20. This is the crucial time though. He's got to get in tight into the upstream 21 here on Niagara. Well, great work there on his crossbow. So he's naturally a right-handed paddler as he comes down the course and has to do that on his crossbow. Fighting the water, 22. Now he's got to keep his concentration through 23. He's going to be outside the current race lead time, and time slipped away on the bottom part of the course. Alexander Nepogodin of the Russian Federation into second place behind Michal Martikan of Slovakia. Still holding that race lead, 99.19. So next up on the course for the United States of America, it is 25-year-old Zachary Locken. Well, he was sixth at the Under-23 World Championships held here on Bratislava in 2017, so he'll be familiar with this whitewater course. But already a 2-second penalty picked up on gate 4, and again another one on gate 6. So Zach Locken has got a little bit to do there. There you can see it, 5.5 seconds down as he comes towards the downstream gate 10. Well, he was Pan American champion of 2019. And spinning round through 11 now. Comes in towards gate 12. It looks like he's putting a good run together. He's certainly put his mistakes from early on in the course behind him. But 4 seconds of penalties is a lot to make up. We've got a big field in front of us. In fact, we've got 4 world champions racing in this 30-boat field, including Franz Anton, the world champion from 2018. And, of course, Michal Martikan, the legend of the sport, who is already our race leader. We've got Denis Canoe of France, the Olympic champion and a world champion on this course back in 2011. So Zach Lockin now good on 21, but drops low. 2 or 3 seconds there, dropped in the upstream gate 22 alone. One more gate between him and the finish line. And Zach Lockin of the United States of America comes into the finish and into 3rd place. So with 8 boats down in this 30-boat semi-final, it's Michael Martican leading for Slovakia, Martin Thomas of France in 2nd, and Zachary Lockin of the United States of America in 3rd. So the second French athlete of 3 racing in this semi-final is on course. Cédric Joly, wearing bib number 13, coming down the course. A young, exciting paddler coming out of France. Having to fight a little bit there to get into the upstream gate 6, but he keeps his cool. He's the 2018 under-23 European champion, just 24 years of age. And, well, he finished 18th at the first World Cup race at Lee Valley in London just last weekend. Let's watch as he comes down through 11 to 12. He's got a really fluid style. Now rides the wave into the upstream gate 13. And importantly at this stage, he is clean as he comes into the upstream gate 14. Cédric Joly now comes down. This is the start of this difficult offset sequence, gate 15, 16. And you have to use the white water, be a little bit patient on 17. We saw the problems that Martin Thomas had on that move, and Andrzej Bercic, but no problems for Cédric as he comes down into the upstream gate 21. Nicely done. Keeps it clean, keeps the boat running. Now he's got to get tight into the upstream 22, and he does just that. Cédric Joly now, it's going to be outside of the race lead time set by Michael Martican, but surely this is going to be good enough for the 2nd place at the moment. And it is indeed. Into 2nd place, 103.36. And that's the first clean run that we have had in this semi-final so far. But still, Michael Martican leading for Slovakia. Cédric Joly in 2nd for France, and Martin Thomas again for France in 3rd place. Well, next for Spain, it's 31-year-old Ander Elosegui, a really experienced paddler on the circuit. 3 Olympic Games, in fact, a great record in Olympic Games. 4th, and 8th over the last 3 Olympic Games. He was 11th at last year's World Championships, and he'll be looking forward to the World Championships in September this year, as they are on his home course in La Seu d'Orel in the foothills of the Pyrenees. That course, a great legacy from the Barcelona Olympic Games, when canoe slalom made its return to the Olympic program after 20 years. But a little bit of a mistake there from 11 to 12, and having to really work hard then to get the boat back on track. He'll have lost a bit of time, and a 2-second penalty picked up on the downstream gate 2. So Michael Martican of Slovakia has laid the marker down, and that is still standing the test of time, despite a 2-second penalty on the last gate of all gates. And look, Ander has dropped a big amount of time there. 8 seconds down. That's surely too much to ask him to find in just the last 3 gates. Well, it's a good line. He's really kept the boat speed. And Elosegui of Spain, it's damage limitation time. Wow, that's tight. Superbly done. And he is going to find some time, surely, in this bottom section. But is it going to be enough to get through into the 10-boat final? Because he has really, well, he has reduced the gap between him and the race leader, but only 5th place for Ander Elosegui of Spain at this stage in the competition. 10 boats down, 20 boats still to go, and they're the fastest 20 boats from yesterday's heats. But on course, it is the Olympic champion from Rio 2016, 31-year-old Denis Canoe. He was 10th at the World Championships last year in Rio de Janeiro, but he was the world champion on this course in 2011. So Denis Gargaud-Canoe, and look at that. He has the early advantage at the moment, 1.35 seconds up. And what will Denis do as he comes into the middle section? Michal Martican of Slovakia has a challenger on course. But a penalty there. Takes on the move forwards through the downstream gate 12. And a penalty showing on that downstream gate 12. But Denis Gargaud-Canoe showing his trademark, his hallmark, very smooth style as he comes through this tricky downstream sequence. And then sets up for the double upstream on Niagara, but it's plan B there. Denis Gargaud-Canoe has now picked up 4 seconds of penalties as he comes into the upstream gate 21. And, well, he's good on 21. He needs to be good on 22, but he's not quite nailed the move. And he really needs to finish this race off with style. Denis Gargaud-Canoe of France is going to go into 3rd place. So he had the early advantage, but 6 seconds in penalties, well, very costly indeed. So the next competitor in this competition, it is Sebastian Rossi of Argentina, now taking on the course. Joining me in the commentary box, it is Sona Stanovska of Slovakia. I'm really pleased that you're able to join me here, and you paddle on this course regularly, so it'd be great to get a bit of insight into this great whitewater course here in Bratislava.
I think it's really fun, and many paddlers love it because here are many things to do and many roles, so you can play with the water. And so for the race, it's always challenging to make the course on the best time without any touches. So I think it's fun.
Well, great, and you'll be paddling in this competition tomorrow. You qualify through in the heats into the semi-finals in the women's C1 competition. And what are you thinking of this course?
I think it's quite hard for a C1 woman because we see right now C1 men, and many of them have a touch, at least one. So who will have a clean run should think about the finals.
Well, as we're watching Sebastian Rossi get washed away, you can just see the power of the water here on this course. And unfortunately for Sebastian, then he's missed gate 22. And, well, it's game over. No place in the final for Sebastian Rossi of Argentina. So it is still Michal Martican of Slovakia who leads the way. The only person under 100 seconds, Cédric Joly of France in second, Martin Thomas of France in third. Well, next up we have another Slovakian competitor, Matej Benuš, who was, of course, the Olympic silver medalist. And we'd be expecting big things from Matej today.
I think yes, because he lives here and he's paddling every day on this course. So and it's also like he have to go the good run because it's his home course, and everyone in Slovakia, this is quite famous sport. So we need a good result from all of us. So good luck, Matthew.
Well, it looks like he's doing a good job so far because he is in touch on the split time at the moment, and just 0.6 seconds down. And we know that Michal Martican did pick up a 2-second penalty at the bottom part of the course, but this was where Michal was so strong.
Yeah, Michal, his technique is really brilliant. I never saw any paddlers who have the same technique as he, but right now he yeah, he's 40, so maybe he have to challenge his age. But when he's technical course, he's always good.
Well, he looks like he's set the challenge, because Matej Beneš is now trailing 2.5 seconds down on the second split in this competition. So Beneš of Slovakia now tidy through 21. This is where he could make up some time, and very nice.
Yeah, last upstream it's quite hard because you can touch it, and it's really easy to touch it, but also going down like 3 meters low or just jump behind before the gate, so that's a really hard gate.
Well, he's under 100 seconds, he's into second place, and well, he looked pretty confident that he'd done enough. He cruised over the finish line there, he'd done enough for the final. Do you think that's enough?
I hope, because he is Slovak, but we see many good paddlers which make some big mistake, and they are out of final, so hopefully it will be enough.
Well, I think it's certainly the only two under 100 seconds, and Slovakia lead with Michal Martikan in first, Matej Beneš in second, Cedric Joly of France in third. Next on the course, it is Gregor Hedvig of Poland, the 30-year-old. He was a finalist at the Europeans in 2019, and he is up, only just, but he is up a little bit on that early split. Certainly capable of getting into the mix and getting into that final.
Before the gate 10, we can see that the water changed a lot, so many paddlers touched that gate, but we could see that he was fine there, and he made it with a clean.
Yes, and he looked like he did a good move through 11 and 12. He took that move on forwards, and it worked for him as he now comes in to this tricky sequence here. This move, particularly on 17, it looks like he's on a good run here.
Yeah, it looks really fast, and it was clean. So, and the water changed sometimes under the bridge. So when the rolls is open, then the next gate are really hard for the paddlers.
Well, it looks like he's certainly good on 21, a little bit low on 22, but Gregor Hedvig from Poland surely is going to take the race lead here. He looks like he's really found the line and found some time into the race lead, 96.37, and surely that will be good enough for a place in the final.
Yeah, his run was clean and really fast. He used all the waves as he should, so we can say it on the time that he is nearly 3 seconds before Martikan.
So next up for the Czech Republic, it is Thomas Rak. Thomas was 27th last weekend at Lee Valley in the first World Cup of the season. That was a disappointment by his standards, because he's very much, well, he's a 3-time World Cup finalist, so he's very capable of getting into the finals, but already plan B there as he has to react to the top of the course. Great recovery, but a 2-second penalty.
Yeah, maybe this will be the plan for some C1 girls, because the spin there, it's not bad for them, but not for C1 men, and also with the touch, he won't be happy with this.
Well, here he comes into the middle section there, just losing a little bit of the momentum there, and still not quite getting into the groove here as he gets towards, well, he's over the halfway point of his run, and we'll get an indication of where he stacks up. Gregor Hedvig made it look so easy for Poland. He really looked like he was working in harmony with the white water.
I think he has so much power, so sometimes when the water don't want to push him the way he wants, so he still have a power to make it.
Thomas Rak of the Czech Republic, he's keeping his hopes alive here, because he has only got the one touch, and whilst he looks like he's fighting the white water a little bit, he is certainly still keeping his hopes alive as he drops into the upstream 22. Now ducks out, one more gate between him and the finish line. He's going to be outside of the top 3. The question is, where is he going to slot into the order? Into 5th place for Thomas Rak of the Czech Republic. So still Gregor Hedvig leading for Poland, ahead of Michal Martikan of Slovakia and Matej Beneš of Slovakia. All of those under 100 seconds as we go next with Luka Bozic of Slovenia. So Luka Bozic, well, he was fourth last weekend at the Lee Valley World Cup. So an opportunity to get into the final again here today, but it's all about delivering now when it matters.
I didn't see the touch, but maybe the judges saw it. But Slovenia, they had a selection also here in Bratislava with us, with the Slovaks, so they also know the course really well. So for them, it was some plus points that they already know the course.
So, well, Luka Bozic goes for that move forwards. You could see he committed to the move very early there, and well, it looks like he's delivered it. Certainly kept it clean, that's important as he comes into the upstream gate 14. So tell me, Sona, in terms of the upstream 21 and 22 at the bottom of the course, what goes through your mind? How do you prepare to really take on that line? Because it comes at you so fast.
Well, you have to jump really quickly, and then you see how much the water pushes you, where he is right now, so we can see one big stroke to come into upstream. And then about 22, you need to go straight there, and at the last moment, you have to turn your boat like an upstream. So I always have the problem there, because on our selection races, I did 50, and 2 years ago, we had here a World Championship, and they gave it me the touch there, but I didn't saw it till now. But I know that the judges, they are doing their best. So for me, it's always the gate where I have the best run of my life, but then I come there and I have a problem there.
Well, it's just a challenging white water here. Luka Bozic of Slovenia goes into second place, so the times are starting to come down. We've got 4 boats under 100 seconds, and, well, we're halfway through this semi-final now, so it won't be long before we can start to confirm who is into the final. And next up, it is another competitor from the Czech Republic. It's Lukáš Rohan. Well, he was 19th at Lee Valley, but under 23 silver medalist at the World Championships back in 2016. And, well, he's a 5-time World Cup finalist, so he's someone you'd expect to be challenging for the top 10 here.
Well, he is a really talented guy. Also, in his age, when he was junior and under 23, he was always one of the best paddlers. So also now in a big team, he would like to make his best.
And just making it into the Czech team, senior team, can be quite a challenge, such as the level of competition for places.
I think it's the hardest team to have a spot there, because they have many paddlers on just 3 places. So I think they have the best team, and also maybe British. But in Czech Republic, for one spot, they have maybe 5 paddlers, which are on the same level, and every one of them could make the medal.
Well, yes, indeed. And, well, Lukáš Rohan's on his back foot now, because he was 2.5 seconds down on the split. And, well, they've taken a touch as well. So he's going to be outside the 100-second barrier. He's fighting it hard as he comes to the finish, but it's going to be only into 6th place for Lukáš Rohan, with still 13 competitors to go in this semi-final and only 10 places in the final. So it's going to be a long few minutes wait to see if that's enough. But it's still Hedvig of Poland leading ahead of Bozic of Slovenia, and Michal Martikan of Slovakia still lying in 3rd place. So Jean-Pierre Bourry from Senegal next, wearing bib number 32. He was 26th last week at Lee Valley, 18th at the Rio Olympic Games. And, well, he is a finalist at the under-23 World Championship level. And when he finds the groove, he is capable of putting in a good run.
Yeah, he is also one of the young paddlers here. And I think it's really good to see also paddlers out of Europe, that they are really good, and they can have a really good run and maybe be in a final.
Well, he was in touch at the early split, so it's meant he's had a good section at the top. He's certainly clean at the moment. So Jean-Pierre Bourry of Senegal certainly looking like he's taking the attack. Remember, there's a little bit of a margin here between 1st and 4th at the moment. So anything under 100 seconds would be, I think, a comfortable time to make it into the final. Well, slipped a little bit, 2.8 seconds down now. He's really got to make sure he delivers this bottom section, and that in particular means getting tight into this upstream gate 21.
Yeah, his first upstream in Niagara, it's on his side, so I think it's really good. And it's maybe better to come there on the left side, and but then from the last upstream to last gate, it's hard to go on the left side, so we could see also here.
Oh, and he has to loop round for 23. It was such a promising run coming together for Jean-Pierre Bourret of Senegal, but that loop back round cost him a lot of time, and into 12th, and unfortunately outside of a place in the final. So Hedvig leads for Poland, ahead of Bozic of Slovenia. Slovakia's Michal Martikan is in third place. And now for Brazil is Felipe Borges. And wearing bib number 27, another young developing paddler who, well, on the junior and under 23 stage, has had quite a successful career. He was the under 23 World Championship bronze medalist in 2015. Now trying to convert into senior finals. Well, this is his opportunity.
Yeah, for Brazil, they had the Olympics there, so they have new place where they can make their session and train there. So it's also the point where what helped them to be better. But right now we can see that he made one big mistake, and that will cost him a final match.
Yes, unfortunately for Felipe, it's no extra penalties added, but a huge amount of time lost there in that move. And I think for me, Sona, when some of these athletes make it look so easy, when someone makes a mistake, then it really shows the power of the white water here on this Bratislava course.
Yeah, always me can when I do something bad and when I make some mistake, I always keep going and see how I could be without it. So I paddling always till the finish line.
Exactly, and in this kind of competition where there's a lot of people making mistakes, then you've just got to focus on delivering the best you can, even if you've made a mistake part way down your run. And Felipe Borges is doing just that for Brazil. I think his time now really slipping away, but paddling it through to the finish. No final today for Brazil, I'm afraid. Felipe Borges goes into 14th place. So Hedvig still leading for Poland, that time 96.37. That's another one of our 4 world champions racing on this start line is on course. It's Benjamin Savcek of Slovenia. Already he's just taken a touch, a 2-second penalty for brushing that downstream gate 5. But he's in touch, so this is a fast time because he's absorbed that penalty already. Benny Savcek, the world champion from 2017. Very experienced paddler indeed. He was 10th last weekend, so he had a disappointing final, but he made it into the final at the first World Cup of the season. And he was 6th at the Rio Olympic Games.
Yeah, I really love his style of paddling because he looks really smooth and wow. So it was really good.
Well, he's up. Up, not by a lot, but he's up. That's all that matters because all he wants is a place in the final. And, well, a little bit low in the upstream, but he converts the momentum of the boat, and I don't think he'll lose much time there.
No, because then he had a speed, he had a high speed to the next upstream. So maybe for C1 woman it's also better to jump a little bit low. Not too much, but maybe like 1 meter lower that gate.
Well, into third place for Benjamin Savcek of Slovenia in time of 97.18, and that includes a 2-second penalty. So the times, well, already they've shown that there's more time in this course with the fastest raw time, 94.75 by Luka Bozic of Slovenia. And we're getting in towards now. In fact, 10 to go, so we'll know who our qualifiers are. But, well, next up for Japan, it is Taku Haneda. But, of course, he trains here on this course in Bratislava.
Yeah, we call him that he is half Slovak and half Japanese because he came here when he was 18, I think. And he has also Slovak coach for many years, and so for a summer he lives here and he can train here. So.
Well, that's great, and of course he was a bronze medalist at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games, in just 400 days or so until the Tokyo Olympic Games, and this year really important for all of these athletes as we come into the first of those Olympic qualifying rounds at the World Championships in September in Spain. Taku looks like he's putting a good performance together here on the middle section of the course.
For them it's Olympic qualification, so he really have to look about all the gates, don't have a big touch or any big mistakes, just go smooth, and he knows that he can do it to the final.
Well, he's lost some time in the middle section, so it's important that he keeps his focus and holds it together. 3.85, but he's still on track if he can hold that deficit. Still on track for being in contention for a place in the final. Haneda of Japan now 2 gates away from the finish line, and really good on 22.
Yeah, he jumped it many times because this is his home course, I think, so he knows how he should do it.
Well, into 6th place for Takuya Haneda of Japan, and it will be a long wait for him to see whether he's done enough. But that's good news for Gregor Hedvig of Poland, our current leader, because that confirms him into this afternoon's final. That final gets underway at 12 o'clock Central European time. As next, it is the world champion from 2018 for Germany. It's Franz Anton, very popular winner on those World Championships in Rio de Janeiro, but in trouble early on. What a recovery there.
But it was still fast, and it's really good to see also C2 pedalers that he changed his category, and he's one of the best pedalers in the world. So he shows everyone from C2 that if they love this sport, they could still do it. Maybe but in other category, which is still Olympic.
Well, he was still in touch despite that time loss at the top. He was just 0.6 seconds down. So Franz Anton of Germany, though, looks a little bit sticky on 11 to 12. So needs to really find his groove now on these bottom gates on this 23-gate course. And he has just picked up a 2-second penalty on the upstream gate 14.
Yeah, he won't be happy with the touch, but oh, this was not good.
Again, though, great recovery from Franz Anton, and just he looks so calm and composed even when it's going wrong.
Yeah, because he knows that the distance between first and, let's say, 5th pedaler is more than 3.5 seconds. So also with some one little mistakes, he can think about it.
Well, Franz Anton of Germany, what a run there. 4th place. And, well, I think one to watch. If he makes it to the final, one to watch, because if he can take those errors out, he's going to be quick. So that's Luka Bozic, though, confirmed for Slovenia, joins Gregor Hedvig of Poland into the final. So it's now Sabček of Slovenia waiting to see if he's done enough. Casey Eichfeld now on course for the United States of America. And, well, he was 17th last weekend at the Lee Valley World Cup. 4th of the 2015 World Championships. That's probably his best performance in terms of sort of major championship performance. 6th at the Rio Olympic Games and a regular finalist in World Cup. I think it's 7 World Cup finals he's made. So this is opportunity to make that 8, and he's in touch at the early split. Just 0.16 down as he approaches gate 10.
Yeah, his stop was really smooth, and he didn't make any big mistakes, and he made it without touch. So let's see that if he can do also the bottom of the course like that.
Well, he looked good through 11, 12 and 13, really fluid. really managing to find the lines. It's so important here on this powerful Bratislava whitewater course. If you don't work with the whitewater, if you start to fight the whitewater, then it will bite back.
Yeah, always water win. Wow, and he is really fast. So.
Well, it's a great example of how he's working in harmony with the whitewater and he's getting the reward. He is up on the split. He's got to just hold it together in these last couple of gates. Not the best on 21, but...
Oh, one touch, but anyway, it could be still enough because his time was really fast.
Well, Casey Eichfeldt of the United States of America now sprinting to the finish and into fourth place, and another good time. That includes a 2-second penalty. And, well, he's gone ahead of the two Slovak paddlers as well. So the Slovaks lying in 6th and 7th at the moment. But, of course, there's still Alexander Slavkovsky to come, who was the fastest in the heats.
Yeah, last season for him was really good. I think that on each World Cup he got podium and he finished first in overall. So, but then on the European and on the World he didn't take the medal, but in both he was in the final. So it was one of the best seasons for him.
So next up for the Russian Federation, it is Nikolai Shkluruk, who is new really on the circuit here, but has made his mark in the heats and is looking like he's making his mark now, because he's up on the early split, and the opportunity now to get his first Senior World Cup final.
Yeah, Russian comes a lot to Slovakia, to Liptovsky because, or to Prague, because it's not too far away for them. Well, it's too far away, but this is the closest country. So I know that they have many hours spent here in Bratislava and in Liptovsky.
Yes, and Nikolai now coming down through gate 15. A little bit sticky on that middle section, but he is still in touch. 3.5 seconds he's lost in the middle section. But importantly, he is clean as he comes towards the Niagara drop. This drop is pretty substantial and pin high. That's superb.
Yeah, that upstream was really good, but then when he went out, he lost a little bit of speed. But anyway, it was really fast.
Well, let's watch as he approaches the finish line. Essentially, it's Casey Eichfeldt of the United States against Shkluruk of the Russian Federation for that next place. Into 8th place at the bottom of the course. It's a good run from the young Russian, but it is Casey Eichfeldt who gets the place in the final confirmed at the moment. So at the moment, Hedvig of Poland, Bozic of Slovenia, Savcek of Slovenia, Eichfeldt of the United States into the final. 6 boats still to go. And the next of those boats, it is Wojciech Heger of the Czech Republic. 3 Czech boats in this semi-final. And Wojciech switching around there as he approaches the upstream gate 6.
This year he started with switching his pedal, like I think one of the only one, maybe from C1, and he is really fast.
Well, he has. He's got an advantage on the top section. We talk about switching because traditionally it was almost frowned upon for people to change the side that they paddle. And in fact, in many ways, the women's canoe paddlers, some of the pioneers there, have really shown the men how to do it.
Yeah, I think if men will do it too, they could be faster, but not as the woman for every upstream and for every gate to go on the side we should, but maybe for switch like 5 times for the run, they could be really fast.
Well, speaking of fast, then Wojciech Heger is right on target with the current race leader. So on target for a place in the final as he comes towards the upstream gate 21. Really precise on the approach. A little bit stuck, loses a bit of boat speed, but he's still in touch for a place in that final as he comes into 22.
Yeah, he was a little bit surprised for the Czechs that he made the team, but his junior career was really good, and the last gate he touched, but otherwise he will be there.
Well, he's into 7th place, and well, he's sandwiched between Michal Marcikan of Slovakia and Matej Benuš of Slovakia. So at the moment, That's good news for Franz Anton of Germany, who's in, and Michal Martikan of Slovakia is next to see whether he's done enough. So we have 5 boats to go, 5 more places to be allocated as we watch Australia's Daniel Watkins, 23-year-old from Tasmania, hometown of Hobart. Now, well, it looks like he's picked up 3 touches in just the first 5 gates. Not a great start for the Australian paddler.
I think that he wanted to don't go big way, but then he touched it. So sometimes it's better to use the bigger way, and so.
Yes, unfortunately, that's a big margin to make up. He was 6th at the Under-23 World Championships. He's clearly got the pace because he was in touch, if you take off his penalties, right in touch with the split time. But Daniel Watkins of Australia has now got another penalty to add to his collection there, and it's not going to be a place in the final for Daniel Watkins, but that would be good news for the home fans because that will confirm Michal Martikan of Slovakia as into the final.
He also changed his paddle to the left side from the right before the bridge, so he is also one of the paddlers which are switching.
Yeah, and I think there's more and more of the men's C1 paddlers who are switching. I know like David Florence from Great Britain has been experimenting a lot with switching, and it's interesting because the men's C1 did it a little bit in the 1980s, and then after that it was frowned upon. So, well, Daniel Watkins, unfortunately, they're into 10th place and no likelihood of a place in the final. But Michal Martikan of Slovakia now joins the list of qualifiers through to the final.
Yeah, congrats, Michal.
4 boats still to finish in this. It's the men's C1 semi-final. 30 boats racing it out for the 10 spots in this afternoon's final. Next up, Tom Abbott of Great Britain. Tom Abbott, well, he's a 2-time Under-23 World Championship finalist,
but he touched gate 4 with his boat.
Yeah, it looks like the back of his boat flicked up, and well, sometimes you would be aware of that as a paddler, sometimes not. Do you think he knows he's taken that touch?
Yeah, I think yes, because right now he also touched gate number 8, but he needs to know that he is still fast also with the touch, and so I think it's about mentality. If they know that also with the touch they can be in final or to the medal or not. So.
Well, he had a great performance yesterday in the heats, finishing 4th on the first run of the heats. Got himself comfortably through into the semi-finals. Now he's got to keep his focus down the course and look at how he can find the time and minimize the impact of those 4 seconds of penalty. Well, 9.5 seconds nearly down on the split. And is that another penalty? It is on the downstream gate 18. It's not going to be a place in the final, unfortunately, today for Tom. But great experience as he comes in. Oh, and a 50-second penalty incurred on the downstream gate 17.
Yeah, I think that his head was not in the gate. He had maybe like half of his head, so that's why they gave him 50.
So Tom Abbott of Great Britain finishing off his run as he comes through gate 23, and well, that's bad news for him. He's not through to the final, but good news for Wojciech Heger of the Czech Republic, because he is our next confirmed qualifier. And well, Matej Benuš of Slovakia now sitting, waiting in 8th place to see if he's done enough, and it's between him and Miguel Trave of Spain. Now he's a young paddler transitioning really into senior ranks, and he made history at the Junior World Championships, taking the C1 and the K1 title.
Yeah, last season for him it was really good. He got 3 gold medals, 1 at the Worlds, 2 at the Europeans, K1, C1, but now he has a touch. But he could be still fast enough because he can do it.
Well, he'll be looking forward to those World Championships at the home water in Sao in September, and Just looks like he's just pushing the boundaries a little bit too far. He's just a little bit edgy, not quite as composed as some of the competitors we've seen so far. But importantly, he can still keep his composure here. He can still post a solid time. Let's see what sort of time that's lost, that roll on the downstream gate 12.
Also for Spain is this Olympic selections, so we can see that the paddlers, which are really good, sometimes they run are not good as they want because they are nervous. So.
Well, yes, and each country selects their team very differently. But yeah, the pressure of Olympic team selection, of course, only one boat per country can go to the Olympic Games, and huge amount of pressure on these athletes. Well, Miguel Trave of Spain coming towards the finish. He's going to be outside of the final today, unfortunately, into 18th place. But that means that Slovakia have another qualifier. Matej Benuš joins Michal Marcikan in that final, and they're actually still one of their paddlers to go. So 2 boats to go, and on course now. Kasper Stuber of Poland already picked up a touch. So important for him to refocus, make sure that he doesn't get affected by that early touch.
But this season he's really fast, so even with that touch he could be in the final, but right now he took one more. But they train a lot also, but he's the younger brother. Igor is his older brother, so it's another family paddling.
Yes, the Polish team seems to be full of big families competing.
Yes.
We've had the Polacic families and loads of success in there now. Stuber, and you're right, he's had a great start to the season, and he was junior world champion here on this course in 2017.
It's not big sport in Poland, so maybe that's also the reason why it's more with a family.
So for you, Sona, racing in front of your home crowd, as you will be tomorrow, how much pressure does that put you under?
Well, I live like 3 hours from here, but many people told me that they will come and watch me and support me here. So for me, it's quite a big challenge that I would like to show them how good I can be. So hopefully I will have a good run, so I can think about the final.
Well, here he comes. It is Kasper Stuber for Poland. He's going to be outside of the time and outside of the final. 14th place. It started on gate 1. That top section, it didn't find it. And really, that was the root of the problem. But that does mean that the Russian Federation, Nikolai Shkleryuk, is through into the final. So one more place to be decided. It is Australia's Daniel Watkins against Slovakia's Alexander Slavkovsky. Now, Slavkovsky had a great season last year. I think 4 silver medals from 5 races in this World Cup season. He took the World Cup title, and he's won medals in pretty much every competition. The big one that eludes him is going to the Olympic Games. Who do you think is going to take that Olympic spot for Slovakia in Tokyo?
Well, that's a really hard question, but my best friend from C1m is Matej Benuš, so I hope for him. But it's really hard question because all of them are the best paddlers in the world, so it will be just about the head. How can they manage their runs and don't have any big mistakes? But well, for me, I hope for Benuš because he's my friend, and sometimes when I can, I have a session with him. So that's why also in Australia he never had a problem, and he also helped me with changing my boat in C1 because he saw that my old boat wasn't good enough, and I had a problem with the boat. So all the times he's helping me with anything I need to.
Well, it's good to hear. And well, Alexander Slavkovsky was up on the second split, so he's in charge of this commanding performance, and surely he's going to take the race lead in this semi-final. Well, it's outside of that, but it's in the final. That's all that matters. Alexander Slavkovsky of Slovakia goes into third place and, importantly, goes into the final. So 3 Slovaks in the 10-boat final. And the results provisionally, Gregor Hedvig of Poland is the semi-final winner, ahead of Luka Bozic of Slovenia. Then Alexander Slavkovsky pleases the home crowd in third place. They will go off as the last 3 in the final later on, but joined by Sapsek, Eichfeld, Anton, Martikan, Heger, Benush and Shkluryuk of the Russian Federation. Well, there's the results there. So, big shock there. Denis Gargo-Canoe, again, the Olympic champion, not making it through to a final, and Takuya Haneda from Japan not making it through on his home water. But importantly, 3 Slovak paddlers will be battling it out in that. Well, that's going to evolve over the season as they compete for that Olympic spot. Just one place up for grabs in the Olympic Games for each country. So very shortly we'll be underway with the women's K1, the women's kayak competition. But your reflections on that men's C1 final, Sona?
Well, I am really happy with the Slovak paddlers that all 3 are there. So it will be really interesting in our selection races for the Olympic. So because each of them is one of the best paddler in the world. So as I said, it will be just about the head and how they can manage their run.
Well, it's the women's K1 semi-final up next, and 30 boats. They're the fastest 30 boats from the heats yesterday here at the ICF Canoe Slalom World Cup 2019. And they're racing in reverse order of that competition. And again, just 10 places available in that final. We've got some big names racing in this competition, and including them, well, we've got Mayelen Shuru, the Olympic champion from Rio 2016. We've got Jana Dukatova of Slovakia making her sort of comeback after taking time out to have a baby. Here racing on some home water. Karina Kunle, world champion on this course, actually, back in 2011. Kateryna Kudejova of the Czech Republic. She was a world champion in 2015. And, of course, Jessica Fox, the world #1, three-time world champion, will be racing. It's going to be tight racing, 30 boats to go. And, well, we've seen that in order to win or to get through into that men's C1 final, then you had to go under 100 seconds. What do you think? Do you think under 110 seconds for the women's kayak would be a good indicator?
I think that 105 seconds maybe, because but usually when we measure it, it's to go after 10 seconds of the best C1 men. It should be always in a final.
So, yeah, I think you're right there, Sonia. So in terms of taking a top 3 place, maybe under 105 seconds, and to get into the final, so into the top 10, then probably somewhere around about the 110 seconds. That'd just be a good guide, as our first competitor from the United States of America is just 15 years of age, and the first senior season, Evie Liepvaart.
Yeah, this winter she was in Australia, and I saw her that she really loved to paddle, and we could see that she is really fast, and she pushed her boat so much, and so.
Well, she's certainly attacking this course, and she looks really in harmony with the white water. Looks like she might have just taken a penalty on the upstream 21 with her paddle, and that's now confirmed. And just fighting the water a little bit, but a good run coming together for this young paddler from the United States.
Yeah, she made the team in both categories, in senior and also in junior, so I think on the junior race she can think about the medal because she can do it really good. But her time was really good.
Well, look at that. That's the time to beat. 104 total, so that's 102 plus a 2-second penalty. So, yeah, set the time to beat. Next up, it's Victoria Us of the Ukraine, another competitor competing in the canoe and the kayak event. The canoes, they're kneeling in the boat with a single-bladed paddle. And this event, the kayak, sitting in the boat, legs out in front of you, and with a double-bladed paddle. So Victoria there, just taking the safe option into the upstream gate 6.
She's the only one from Ukraine which is paddling K1 woman. So if she make a spot for her, we can see her on the Olympic Games in Tokyo.
So and she was in Rio. She came 12th in the Rio Olympic Games. So Victoria Us, no stranger to the pressure of competition. And at the moment, keeping it tidy. Not as fast as our first paddler down from the United States, Evie Liepvaart, but looking okay as she comes into the upstream 14. So the women's kayaks competition here, 30 boats. We've got some top names racing, and well, what do you think are the main differences here in terms of the strategy that these athletes will take coming into this final?
I think first point is that they have to have a clean run and then make everything smooth, not any big mistakes, or stay too long in the upstreams. And also from the last upstream to the finish, it's quite hard to let your boat go straight without any struggling.
Yeah, and that's when the real fatigue sets in as well. Your arms are tired, and it's so important. We've seen a lot of people on gate 23, particularly in the heats, having to go back for the gate. But Victoria Us of the Ukraine goes into second place. Next up, well, very experienced competitor for Japan. It's Yuriko Takashita, who is 30 years of age, 4th at the Beijing Olympics, so has been around on the circuit for some time. And what she's gonna have to work hard to get into 6, come in through the back door, as we might say.
Yeah, it was really strange to use that way for as a plan A, but as a plan B, it's maybe better like to spin it.
So the Japanese, of course, really eagerly anticipating the home Olympics in Tokyo, and the Tokyo whitewater course for those games is now complete. And I don't know if you've seen video of it on the internet. Have you seen any footage of the site on Tokyo?
Not really.
Well, it looks very similar to the Rio course, and certainly looks like it'll be a good course for that competition. But,
I heard that it's really similar as Rio, but I didn't see any photo yet.
Yeah, well, I'm sure the test event for the canoe slalom event will take place in October. So that will be the first official opportunity for the athletes from around the world to really understand and experience the new Tokyo Olympic course built for those games in around 400 days' time, as Takeshita of Japan now picked up a penalty in 21 there, confirmed on the screen, and the time slipped away. She just not got the flow of the river.
Yeah, she lost too much time there, and she didn't jump correctly to gate number 22, and now we see that 23 she lost her speed to the finish line. So
into third place for Yuriko Takeshita of Japan. As now onto another young, exciting paddler. It's Laia Sorribes of Spain, who was well, silver at the Junior World Championships back in 2016, but then fifth as well in the Junior World. So consistently performed as a junior, now 19 years old, and well, she's up on the early split.
At her junior age, she was always one of the best junior paddler, but then she dislocated her shoulder, so she had to stop paddling for maybe a year, and now it's her comeback. So, but she is still fast.
Well, it's good to see her making that comeback, and that's one of the risks in canoe slalom. Then injuries are not that common, but the big injury that can really affect your career is shoulders, and a shoulder injury on big white water can often be quite unexpected, and can put you out for quite a big period of time.
Yeah, Urša Kragel on her last session on Thursday, she dislocated here her shoulder, so she went back home for the surgery.
Yes, so that's for Slovenia, unfortunately, and yeah, that's why we didn't see her racing in the heats yesterday.
Yeah.
So Sorribes of Spain now coming into the upstream 22, has picked up a penalty on 21 and just a little bit low on 22. So it's going to be outside the time set by Evie Liebfarth of the United States of America, but a respectable time nonetheless for Sorribes of Spain, the 19-year-old, into second place ahead of Victoria Us of the Ukraine. So again, another young paddler, 22 years of age. It's Noemi Fox of Australia. So the younger sister of Jessica Fox, who will also be racing in this women's kayak semi-final here in Bratislava in Slovakia, and needing to deliver this top section. A little bit sticky, just getting the lines, but importantly, keeping it clean on this top section.
Yeah, she's another young paddler which can have a good run and chasing for the final, but she's already 4 seconds down.
So she's had a good junior career. She was fourth at the Junior Worlds back in 2014, and then she's already made a final at the Under-23 World Championships. Naomi Fox, part of the Fox dynasty, really. Father Richard Fox, a multiple world champion for Great Britain, and mother Miriam Jerusalem Fox, multiple world champion for France. So Noemi very tight in and out of 14, so keeping it smooth. What can she do down the bottom section? But it's still, that gap has extended. 6.75 seconds now, the deficit.
I think that Avi can think about the final, because her time was really good, and also with the touch it was still under 105 seconds.
Yes,
but now she jumped before the gate.
yeah, so Naomi Fox of Australia there, gone in too tight. And it looks like she might well have gone through the gate in the wrong direction. She was certainly very close to doing that. And a 50-second penalty awarded. And there's no way back now, unfortunately, for Naomi Fox of Australia. So no place in the final today for Naomi. Disappointment in her face as she comes down the course. Evie Liebfarth of the United States of America still leading the way after 5 paddlers. Then Laia Sorribes of Spain, and then Victoria Us of the Ukraine. Now, Klaudia Zwolinska of Poland, junior world champion in 2016, and then in the under-23 world championships, he took a bronze here in 2017. So has had a pretty glittering career as coming through the ranks, and now making a name really in terms of on the senior stage.
Yeah, this year she was already in final in Po, and I think also in London. So it's really good season for her.
And it's great to see another Polish female making their mark, because the Polish are probably most known at the moment for their men's canoe and their men's kayak. So it's great to see her making her mark in those finals for Poland.
If she will still compete, I think she can be one of the best girls in the world, because we already see that two races and 2 finals, so we will see how she will finish here.
Well, Zwolinska of Poland now coming towards the upstream 21. She's down on the split time, but she's very good in upstream 21. Just looks so calm and composed. And again, a pretty good line into 22, so she may well have found a bit of time on that bottom section of the course. She's got to keep her concentration through 23, and
Touch it.
yeah, she takes the touch, and wow, that makes the difference. Only 3rd place for Klaudia Zwolinska of Poland, and it's still Evie Liebfarth, that early leader for the United States of America. So next up for Great Britain, it is Megan Hamer-Evans, 20-year-old under-23 World Championship finalist. Now goes in this 30-boat semi-final, just 10 boats up for grabs. 10 places in that final. That final gets underway later on today. And did she just miss that gate 5?
Yes, she did.
Well, we'll wait for confirmation of that. But yes, there it is. Pushed around by the white water, and Megan Hamer-Evans gets pushed offline and out of the line for gate 5. And unfortunately for her, then again, that won't progress her through into the final. It's great to see a young lineup of paddlers. You know, these first few paddlers, really people who've made their name at junior and under-23 ranks, a little bit like yourself, and now emerging into the senior ranks.
Yeah, also in Slovakia, our C1 women's team, it's young girls. I'm the young, not this year, but till this year I was always the youngest one, and the oldest one is, I think, 20 years old. So, and also in other categories, because after this Olympics, many girls also finish, so it's new opportunities for the young paddlers.
Yes, of course, Slovakia are hugely successful in the sport of canoe slalom, but has quite an aging team in some of the categories.
Oh yeah, like Michal Martikan or Ellen Kaliska, but both of them are still really good paddlers, and we saw that Michal he's already in final, so they are still the best in their category.
So there, Megan Hamer-Evans of Great Britain goes through into 6th place. That 50-second penalty, big, costly mistake on the top part of the course. And just talking of Elena Kalishka, it was a pity that she didn't progress through into this semi-final. She went out in the heats yesterday. Disappointing opportunity to see her race in front of a home crowd.
Yeah, it was also a surprise for me that she didn't make it from the second run. But right now, Ida, she missed gate 5, so she have to come back again there. But
Yeah, so Ida Novak is on course for Slovenia at the moment, but as you say, Sona, then unfortunately, same mistake as previous paddler Megan Hamer-Evans of Great Britain that picked up the 50-second penalty for missing gate 5. Such are the margins, the tight margins on the top part of the course, and that's going to be expensive. She was 24th last year at the World Championships in Rio de Janeiro, and unlikely to progress any further in this competition. 5 World Cups over the course of the 2019 season. This is race 2 here in Bratislava in Slovakia. Last week we were in London, Lee Valley in Great Britain, and then next week the focus moves to Slovenia, to Ljubljana and to Tartan, the well, famous swirling course in Ljubljana. Will you be in action there?
Yeah, I get also opportunity to race their K1. So for me it will be first race for this year that I will do both categories. But I know that many paddlers which are in team under 23 and junior, they won't come there because we have, I think on Wednesday or Thursday starts our European Championship under 23 and junior. So many young paddlers won't come there.
Yeah, so just prioritising their performances. Unfortunately, the problems continued for Ida Novak because downstream in the wrong direction through gate 22, and it's not going to be today. Well, let's look at our first French competitor, because on course Marie-Zélia Lafont, 32-year-old, and again problems on gate 5. This time looks like a 2-second penalty confirmed. Marie-Zélia was the French representative at the Rio Olympic Games, finished 16th in those games. She was 11th at the World Championships in Rio last year and 4th earlier on this season at the European Championships on their home water in Pau in southern France. Marie-Zélia looks like she's putting a tidy run after those early mistakes.
Yeah, she still keep continue because she knows that she is fast enough to be in a final, so she's still doing his best.
Well, she's certainly attacking the course and in touch on the split here. Let's have a look. Yes, within a second of the split, so Marie-Zélia takes on the move, has to respond quite dramatically through 18-19, but is keeping it clean. It's going to be down to delivering these 2 upstream gates, 21 and 22.
But she again touched it. But between first and second paddler, between Avi and Laia, it's a big distance, so maybe she will be fast enough to come to second place.
Yes, well, certainly just the 2-second penalty showing. Everything else looks like she's delivered it fast on the bottom section. And a total time into second place for Marie-Zélia Lafont of France, 105.59, and that's a quick time from Marie-Zélia of 101.59, but 4 seconds in penalties added on. So we're coming up to the, well, Luca Jones now for New Zealand is the 10th boat in this 30-boat semi-final, and just 10 boats will progress through into the final. So Luca Jones, the Olympic silver medalist from Rio 2016 for New Zealand. She's just competing in the kayak this weekend. She raced in Lee Valley last weekend in the kayak and the canoe events. So her focus this weekend very much on delivering in this event.
Yeah, she started after Rio with C1, and she's quite good in it.
She's a 3-time World Championship finalist for New Zealand and very capable. Really needs to just consolidate her form. Consistency is probably her weak point. When she finds the groove, she can be very quick indeed. Just needs to develop that consistency, and really has been also trying to emerge within the women's canoe category, and certainly looking to see where she can take that as she goes towards the Tokyo Olympics. Well, she's still in touch, 0.88, but the water is pushing her around, and great recovery there.
Yeah. But she has a clean run, and Avi she didn't, so it's still okay. Oh, but now she touched it.
So it's so important to know what your plan is with the front of your boat, isn't it, as you go into 21?
Yeah, but we didn't see any girls had a clean run, so each of them had at least one touch. So it's also interesting to see it.
Well, just outside the race lead time, into second place for Luca Jones of New Zealand. Again, another quick time, but as you say, no one has yet gone down with a clean run. Maybe the next person will, because the next up, it's the Olympic champion from Rio 2016, Mayelen Chirot, and very experienced competitor, 36 years of age, and when she puts it down, she can be superbly fast.
Yeah, this winter I had opportunity to train with her, so it helped me a lot in the K1. And she's a really nice person, and hopefully she can do it.
Well, it'd be great to see her in the final later on today, because well, she's won all sorts of titles. She's the European champion. She's, as to say, the Olympic champion. She was bronze in the Olympic Games in 2012. But I think she was 5th last weekend at Lee Valley, so she definitely made the final and really building her season ahead of that Olympic qualification and those World Championships on her home water in Spain.
Many girls look at her like she's one of the biggest stars in our sport, so so she's like the person where everyone look at her and get the best from her style of paddling.
It's so effortless, her style, very smooth, and I think she was 2.85 down on the split, but I think she made some time. She was supreme through those downstream gates, through 15 through to 19, and now a little bit sticky round 21, round 22, but it's a solid run for Mayelen Chirot of Spain. Just having to work a bit hard on 23.
But anyway, her time is still quite okay. She came to the 3rd position, so
into 3rd place for Mayelen Chirot of Spain, the Olympic champion of Rio 2016. Still, Evie Liebvarth of the United States leads that outstanding time ahead of Luca Jones, then Mayelen Chirot, and we've still got 19 boats to go in this, the ICF Canoe Slalom World Cup 2 here in Bratislava. It is the semi-final of the women's kayak event. So on course it is Aki Yazawa of Japan.
And many paddlers touch gate 4 with the tail of boat. So the athletes should think about that maybe stay flat, don't put your boat on the edge.
Yes, and I imagine there'll be a lot of people. I imagine you'll be out watching the competition throughout today, preparing for your racing tomorrow, because you haven't had a chance to practice on this course.
Yeah, I always watch C1 boys and take the best from there. So, but also girls, because we have for this season Eliška Mintalová from Slovakia. She is really fast. She has 2 finals from 2 races. So and this is our home. So hopefully she can also do it.
Well, Aki Yazawa from Japan and is in trouble. She was down on the split and now in trouble. Doesn't get back for the downstream after the hole. That's the downstream 18. And while she might get back for it, it's going to cost her in a big way on the clock.
Yeah, as I said, they had Olympic qualification, so I think she's a little bit under stress. So also her mistakes are because of the stress from the race.
And it's difficult, isn't it? Because, well, for you, you have the stress of the home crowd, and it either is stressful and it helps you to perform, or it hinders you. And do you think you only find that out after the race?
I think it helps me, because when I say that people come here just because of me, so they travel here, so it helps me, and I would like to make my best.
So Aki Yazawa of Japan only into 8th place at this stage. Evie Liebvarth still leading for the United States, as we watch Sophie Ogilvie of Great Britain setting off on her run. So, well, Sophie Ogilvie has been paddling in the C1 women as well as the kayak competition. 4.5 seconds down on the top section, so really needs to find some pace and some rhythm on this bottom section.
We can see here the best paddlers from Great Britain as Woods or Franklin, but because this is Olympic selection season, so all the paddlers don't do all the races, but they choose which one would they like to, and Great Britain sent here junior and under 23 team, because as I said, they will have in Liptovsky European Championship, so it's good to have some big race because before the Europeans.
It's a great opportunity for the younger paddlers to get some race experience at senior level as well, ready for when it's their turn to deliver in on the big stage. And well, Sophie she's certainly in the C1 event has had some really strong performance so far this season at Europeans and at World Cup. But Sophie there too tight into 21, ended up stuck on the eddy line. Great recovery there, but you can see the time has slipped away as she comes into the upstream 22. So it's not going to challenge the top three at this stage of the competition.
Yeah, she won't be happy with this run. But as I said, she has still C1, and in London she was in final, so she's also one of the best paddlers.
She's learning a huge amount there, and actually I think it's still a personal best in the kayak in terms of making it through into the semi-final. So into 9th place for Sophie Ogilvie of Great Britain. Next up for the Czech Republic. Oh, and early problems here, and yes, big problems. It's Barbara Valikova
under the water, so her boat hit there, and that's why she made an Eskimo.
So that 50-second penalty will stand there, unfortunately, for Barbara Valikova of the Czech Republic. And as you say, and here with the water being so cloudy, it's very hard to see what's under the water. It probably helps to know exactly where all the rocks are and how deep it is.
Yeah, also when we came here after London, it was completely different as we had it on the selection races, because it's dirty, and also the water is sometimes it's high, sometimes it's too low. So also my first session was about to know again the water, how it is, because as I said on the selection it was completely different.
You think it's always the same for the home team, but that sounds like not always the case.
Not really, because here sometimes we have big problems with the water, that on one session it's too big, then on the next session it's too small, so the water is always another.
So here, of course, this course is fed by the mighty River Danube, so no shortage of water, but I know a big challenge between generating electricity as well as providing water for the whitewater course.
Yeah, also they have to, because this is Dunaj and it goes to Hungary, so we can't have always the same water because it's on the river.
So Barbara Valikova of the Czech Republic, unfortunately, into 12th place because of that 50-second penalty. Next up for Poland, it's Natalia Pasiepnik, wearing bib number 12.
But she missed gate number 4.
Oh, and it's all gone wrong early on for Natalia, who's a very experienced paddler, two-time Olympian, and those Olympics 2012 and 2016.
Another 50 on gate number 7.
And it just shows, if you don't quite start the run, how difficult it is to then sort of concentrate and put that mistake behind you.
Yeah, but another flat, but she is still fighting with the water. So I like that she don't go straight down, or she is still fighting with it.
Yeah, I think that's quite an important spirit, isn't it? Is canoe slalom, it's very unusual for anybody to have the perfect run, isn't it? So it's if you can't deal with the unexpected and making mistakes, then it's probably unlikely that you'll make it right to the top level of the sport.
Yeah, but that's the point why everyone loves this, because it's never the same and the water always change, and you can do one gate for 100 times, but anyway you won't do it the same as maybe in other sport.
Well, it's great to have you alongside me. My name's Andy Maddock, and keeping you up to date throughout, and alongside me at the moment for Slovakia, Suna Stanovska, who'll be racing in the semi-finals of the women's C1 event tomorrow. And great to get your insight as we watch Natalia Pasiepnik off Poland, finishing off a run. She'll be disappointed with that, but she has got to the bottom, and she'll learn from that as she comes back fighting, I'm sure, again. So next up, well, it's the United States leading with Evie Liepvaart. Next up, Ashley Nee. Well, Ashley has been on the circuit for a long time for the United States of America. And, well, she's been to the Olympic Games as well. Never really made it to a major final.
Yeah, maybe here, because if she had a good run, she can do it, and it's quite hardcore, so also with one little mistake, she can think about the final.
Well, she's in touch. She's just under 2 seconds down on the early split as she comes into gate 11. Great shot there as we look at, but she's low on 12. She's having to loop back for 12, which is okay, but it makes it quite hard to get in tight for the upstream gate 13.
Yeah, the water pushing her up, but she wanted to go down, so it's quite hard to do it.
And she'll have paid a price on that. Although she's clean, she will have paid a price on the clock. So Ashley Nee of the United States of America is down. Well, we'll find out just how much, but it's getting on to 10 seconds now. 11.18 down on compatriot Evie Liepvaart, who is the current race leader, as we're now actually beyond. We're over halfway in this competition. So we've got 30 boats lined up. 10 boats will go through into the final. And, well, Ashley Nee is the 16th boat, so 14 boats to go.
Yeah, I think Evie can be really happy with that run, and we will see if it will be enough for final, but I think yes.
Well, I think you said early on, didn't you, that would be enough, and I would agree. I think she's put in a really respectable run as Ashley Nee gets the curse of gate 23 again, and only into 8th place for Ashley Nee of the United States of America. So another young up-and-coming paddler is on course, Camille Prigent of France.
Another paddler from the kayak family. Also, her brother and her cousin and also her parents used to do slalom, so...
Yes, the Prigent family, very well known across the canoeing community, but particularly as well within France. Now, Camille won the under-23 European Championship. No, it's the World Championship in 2018.
Yeah, last year she won gold medal in Ivrea.
And certainly has made a mark on the senior circuit on a number of occasions. She was only 20th last weekend, but I know she was 4th at one of the World Cup races, I think Krakow in Poland in 2018.
Yeah, in her junior age, she was always one of the best paddlers and took many medals. Also at the Young Olympic Games, she had a medal.
So, well, she's 5.2 seconds down, but she's very much attacking this course, and this is her opportunity. She does a good straight line through the downstream gates, and now into the upstream gate 21. Wow, look at the force of the water. She got a face full there.
Yeah. They a little bit changed the left side from Niagara, and now it's a little bit hard to jump there.
You talk about the jump. It's so important, isn't it, to keep the boat dry as you go down. So lift it onto the top and then get your weight forward. Is that how you do it?
Yeah, you have to have a really fast push your boat too fast, and then you jump it whatever you do. But otherwise, you have to have a good stroke before.
So into 7th place for Camille Prigent of France. So it's still Evie Liepvaart leading for the United States of America, ahead of Luca Jones of New Zealand. Maya Lanchero, the Olympic champion of Rio from Spain, is in third place. So starting to get into the sharp end now. 14 boats to go, in fact 13 boats to go now. And on course it's Victoria Wolfhardt of Austria.
Avi had a really good the top of the course, and we see that not many pedalers are faster there than she, but Vicky, she's still in touch with the time, just 1 second low.
So now through 11 and 12, well, it's clean for Victoria Wolfhardt as she comes out of the upstream gate 13. So she's a two-time under-23 European champion, and she won a World Cup medal last year in the women's kayak event on the World Cup circuit. So Victoria Wolfhardt of Austria, well, good recovery there. She got in a little bit of trouble, but
yeah, but it was still fast, and she has clean run till now, so let's see if she can do it.
Wow, that's how to do the upstream
Wow.
21. Great stuff here, and Victoria Wolfhardt of Austria is putting in a very good run together. Really keeps the momentum on 22. She's got to keep that concentration, make sure she doesn't take a silly touch on 23. Ooh, close, but that's okay. And she's going to surely take the race lead here. And wow, she finds the time from gate 15 onwards and into the race lead. Victoria Wolfhardt of Austria.
Her bottom was really fast, and she has a clean run, and just 3 pedalers could do it, so she's one of them. But she lives close to Vienna, so to Bratislava it's quite close also for her. So I think that she comes here a lot.
Yeah, just an hour or so down the road, Vienna. And yeah, this Bratislava course based on right on the border, really, of Slovakia and Hungary and Austria. So Veronika Vojčová is next up for the Czech Republic, wearing bib number 20. Remember, all these athletes, 30 athletes racing for just 10 spots in the final later on today, and she is up on the early split. Not many people have managed to challenge that early split. And, well, Evie Leapfast still in second place for the United States. Luca Jones in third for New Zealand. Those three very much looking set to get into the final. But Vojčová of the Czech Republic looking aggressive, really attacking and challenging the race lead.
Yeah, she looks pretty smooth, and she don't stay anywhere in some upstream, or when she turns her boat, she always push it forward, so that's why she is so fast.
And the World Cup will, of course, be coming to Prague in the Czech Republic for the final. But, well, having to really fight there. And that will have cost her some probably 3, 4, 5 seconds, but no penalties. But she's certainly now a little bit on her back foot, got to deliver these 2 upstream gates at the bottom of the course.
Yeah, but it was really tight, so I think that the judges will also see the video if her head was there or not. But otherwise, she still has clean touch, clean run, so it might be fast enough.
Well, that's a stunning time, 105.87, considering how much time she lost around gate 17 to 18. And Veronika Vojčová of the Czech Republic into 6th place. And, well, we're now with 11 boats still to go, so we'll soon be able to confirm who is going to race in this afternoon's women's kayak final here at the ICF Canoe Slalom World Cup 2 in Bratislava, Slovakia. Already 3 Slovaks qualified through into the men's C1 final. And, well, problems early on for our next competitor. It is Nerea Villarubla of Spain.
But she still managed it. So, but she touched that gate, and now big problems.
So she used her experience. She didn't panic. She spun out. It cost her on the clock, but it made sure she could get back for the upstream gate 6. But look at that, trailing by 10 seconds after the first 30-odd seconds of this 23-gate course. Certainly, Maritzel Rodriguez and Pierpaola Ferrazzi have set a tough course for this competition.
Yeah, but it's really good to see her again in K1, because I didn't see her last year in K1, just in C1. So I think it also helps her in C1. to start in K1 before.
Yeah, so certainly she made the final at the Under-23 Worlds in this event, and certainly she's probably made her name more in the C1 event, as you say, Sona, but you're right. Doing both events, do you think that helps your development as an athlete?
For me, yes, even I am better in C1, I will still pedal in K1 at least two times a week, because it helps me better to feel the water, and also sessions like also I get too much power from K1, and which I can use in C1.
That's interesting to hear, yeah, and it was certainly, well, here comes Nerea Villarubla of Spain to the finish line. She's going to be outside of the final, unfortunately, into 11th place. That mistake at the top, no way back for that, really, but Victoria Wohlfahrt of Austria still leading. Evie Liebhardt of the United States of America in second. Luca Jones for New Zealand in third. Next up, Martina Wegman of the Netherlands, now coming down the top part of the course. Now, Martina had a great performance in the heats, qualifying through in 10th place. And Martina, a real big water paddler.
Yeah, she's from she's from Netherlands, and there it's not many paddlers are from there, because it's not a sport which is typical for that country. But her top was fine, I think. But she touched gate 10.
Yeah, it looks like she's on a tidy run here, but needs to really attack the course a little bit more if she wants a place in this afternoon's final. We'll get an indication of how she stacks up with current race leader Victoria Wohlfahrt of Austria. 102.44 is the lead time at the moment, and still 9 paddlers to come after Martina. Well, 5 seconds down, and well, it's going to be a little bit more now, because Martina's just picked up that 2-second penalty with the bow of the boat touching the pole.
After her, we will know already first boat, which will be qualified. So,
well, here she comes. It's tidy at the bottom section, 21-22, but it's already outside of the race leading time. So Martina Wegman of the Netherlands now sprinting for a place in the final. Where is it going to put her? Oh, into 11th place, and so outside of a place in the final. So Victoria Wohlfahrt of Austria, our current race leader, is our first qualifier into the final. As well, next up, it's the 2006 world champion for Slovakia. It is Jana Dukatova, who is always so graceful on the water and deceptively fast.
Yeah, when before her baby, she was one of the best paddlers, but now a little bit of troubles, 2 touches already.
Yes, indeed, it looks like early problems for Jana. So really, when I spoke to her coach, Robert, he was saying that really this season is more about still building back after taking a year out to have a baby last year. And Jana, well, she's still got the pace, but I think it's just getting that.
Yeah, but it's really hard to come back after 1 year break, maybe more.
Yes, I think you're right, and the problems there for Jana are continuing at the moment.
Yeah, but for this season, she was pre-selective, so she had more time for sessions than the other paddlers had.
Well, she's got a great record in this sport of canoe slalom. Only the 1 world title, which in some ways is quite a surprise. She's been in so many world championship finals. She was 4th at the Olympic Games in Rio.
Yeah, I know that there she wanted to take a medal, and I think that she was fast enough to make it. So that's also why she came back, because she would like to have an Olympic medal, and that's one of her dreams, which she didn't make it yet. So,
well, it's good on the bottom section. Is it too little, too late? I think it is, and outside of the final. So we won't be seeing Jana Dukatova of Slovakia in this afternoon's final, but that's good news for the United States, because Evie Liebhardt is confirmed into that final. Evie, of course, only 15 years old, so a fantastic performance. Karina Kühnle now of Austria. So paddles just, well, lives just an hour or so away in Vienna.
Oh,
World champion on this course, but, well, she asked the question on gate 5 there.
yeah.
It'll be interesting to see whether there's any penalty added on there, but look at that, fast on the top section, 1.93 seconds up at that early split. So Connie, hugely powerful paddler. She's won a European title, she's a 2-time world champion, and she's the first paddler to take on that move 11, 12 to 13 forwards.
If she have really fast speed, maybe it's faster to make it straight. But the rest of the girls take the easiest way to spin it.
Well, surely we're looking at a new race leader here. Karina Kühnle of Austria is, well, nearly 3 seconds up on Victoria Wohlfahrt, again of Austria, who is our current race leader. So Karina, really probably again another paddler. She came to the fore, she took 2 world titles, but since then has not always found the form when it matters.
Yeah, but she jumped last 2 up really nice. It was really good, so she can be happy with this run.
Yeah, she's won the World Cup competition overall on 2 occasions in 2014 and 15. And Karina Kühnle is, wow, just outside the 100-second barrier, but into first place and into the final. Well done, Karina. But I do notice a little asterisk showing there, so I suspect the judges will just be looking at gate 5 before they confirm her result.
She could make her time could be under 100 seconds, but she didn't want to pedal till the finish line.
So Kühnle leads for Austria ahead of Wohlfahrt and then Liebfarth. Luca Jones, Mylin, Shiro are the top 5. But at the moment, 3 qualified, 7 boats still to go. And on course, it is Monica Doria Villarubla for Andorra. So a good performance in the heats. Already a personal best, really, for the 19-year-old. And now an opportunity to, well, go for that final, top 10 position.
Yeah, she's European champion in C1, I think 2 or 3 years ago, from Germany.
Let's have a look now. Wearing bib number 26 of the Andorran state, a little state just between France and Spain in the Pyrenees. Wow, how close was she there to the upstream 14, but importantly, not close enough to pick up a penalty. So,
but she just missed the gate.
I was just going to say, it looks like 16. It's so easy on this fast water, isn't it, to set the line up and almost be thinking of the next gate,
yeah.
and you realise you've got offline.
Yeah, sometimes they don't want to go too much to the gate, and then this happened that they miss it.
So unfortunately, there for Andorra's Villarubla, Doria Villarubla, then it's not going to be a place in the final today. But let's have a look. It's a good time, very good time, 1:04, but that obviously has 54 seconds on top of it. But that's good news, though, for Luca Jones of New Zealand. Well done, Luca. You join Evie Liebfarth of the United States, Victoria Wohlfahrt of Austria, and Karina Kühnle of Austria, provisionally into the final. So next on the course, it is the world champion from 2015 from the Czech Republic. It's Kateřina Kudyjová. And, well, very composed. A little bit late into 5, but no problems for Kateřina there.
Yeah, she managed it, and she didn't lose so much time there. And it's also hard to jump 7 and 8 without losing any speed and any time.
Well, she's down on Kühnle's time, but Kühnle, of course, has quite a big advantage at the moment. And the job on this run is to get into the final. And she's well on track for that in this early stage as she gets towards the halfway point of her run.
Yeah, so it's quite big distance between first and second peddler, and then between second and third. So it's if she will be fast enough.
Well, Kateřina Kudyjová, world champion in 2015. She's also a 2-time under-23 world champion. She's still going to be down, but she has closed the gap. And, well, she's certainly cutting the lines. Oh, and a 50-second penalty on gate 17. And K1w goes from absolutely in touch with a place in the final to all over.
Oh, she lost her pedal.
Yeah, it's so important in that upstream gate 21. You must have done that hundreds of times when you're training. The worst thing to be is stationary, is not moving.
Yeah, you need to have to stay there flat. So, and then you will see how much the water push you.
That's a great shot here on this broadcast. Just shows you the power of the water and all the different directions the water's going in this bottom section of the course. But it's not going to be today for Katarina K1w, who goes into 20th place. And I say that looking...
But
Karina
K1w
has been given a 50-second penalty on the downstream gate 5. So it's all changed at the top of the leaderboard. The video review has gone on. Wolfhard is leading now for Austria. And, well, let's just confirm. It's Wolfhard qualified so far. Liebfarth of America is second qualified. Luca Jones for New Zealand. Mayelen Chirot of Spain and Marie-Zélia Lafont of France. They're the 5 qualifiers so far.
Yeah, but already Eliška had a 50 on gate number 2. She didn't come there enough, so she was absolutely out of the gate. So maybe Vojtová, she will be in a final.
Well, it's a disappointment there. So yes, on course now, Eliška Mintalova of Slovakia. So tell me a bit more about Eliška.
So when she started, she wasn't really one of the best pedalers, but then her coach took her to Align for a winter session, and after it she went to Slovak nominations, and she made a team in junior, and then she made a medal. She was silver here in Bratislava. And then after it, she was already under 23. But her problem is that sometimes she missed the gate, which is absolutely in her way, as we saw gate number 2. So, but she can be really, really fast. We saw it in pole because she won semi-final. So she can be really fast, and she worked so hard.
Yeah, so she was 6th last weekend in Lee Valley, so she's not going to progress through to the final on this occasion. But great to see her making her mark, and one to watch to follow some legends from Slovakia, the likes of Elena Kališka, 2-time Olympic champion. But on course now for Brazil, it is Anna Shatila. And, well, we'd expect big things from Anna. And, well, really attacking on the first part of the course. Really committed move from 5 to 6 there.
Yeah, her style of pedaling is really powerful, and so but she is 2 seconds down. But anyway, Corina, she's back on the first place, and her top, she was 2 seconds before Victoria, which is second, so she's still about the second place.
So as we watch Anna Shatila, yes, as Sona just said, Karina K1w's penalty's been put on, but it's now been taken off. So Karina K1w now is our race leader and is in the final. Wolfhard of Austria joins her. Liebfarth of the United States of America lying in 3rd and into the final. Luca Jones of New Zealand, Mayelen Chirot of Spain, and Marie-Zélia Lafont, our current qualifiers. So 7 boats qualified, 3 to come. And Anna Shatila is... well, she's now coming down towards the bottom of the course, but a 50-second penalty given from, well, just cutting the lines a bit too much on the downstream gate 18.
Yeah, she put her head into the gate, but they gave her 50, so maybe her head wasn't there enough.
Well, Anna Shatila coming to the finish. She won't know she's got a 50-second penalty. So into 19th and out of the final. That means Veronika Vojtová of the Czech Republic is now confirmed into the final. So it is Laia Soribes of Spain and Klaudia Zwolinska of Poland, the next in line. to see if they have done enough as we watch the world #1, the world champion, Jessica Fox of Australia.
Yeah, one of the best peddler in the history of canoe slalom. The thing I like about her that she can still win the both categories. So
yeah, so she's racing in the C1 event tomorrow as well, and she's in touch at the top section. And with Jess Fox, that's all you need. You know that probably she'll build in through the course of the competition, through her run. Hugely experienced. Goes for the spin move on 11 to 12 to 13. Well, that's where K1w took it on forwards. Jessica, a 3-time world champion in this event, and she's got a phenomenal record, as you say, Sona, in terms of her performance across the 2 events. Well, in fact, in this event, she's got 14 World Cup podiums. She's still only 25 years old.
wow.
But problems for Jess, and she has to go back round. So the world #1 is in trouble here. There is a bit of a gap at the top, but we'll get to... In order to qualify, she's effectively needs to be within 7 seconds of our race leader, K1w of Austria. So no margin now for mistake. And wow, she delivers that under pressure. Well, here she comes. In and out to the upstream gate 22. Jessica Fox now fighting back for a place. It's surely going to be enough for a place in the final. It's tight though, and sneaks into 8th and just qualifies.
She is.
Wow. Look at the relief on her face. And well, that's not how she wanted it to be, but that's all that matters, because they all start from 0 in the final. So that's Jessica Fox joins those qualifiers, and 2 boats still to go. They're the fastest 2 boats from the heats. Next up, it's Eva Tersel of Slovenia.
Yeah, Jessica, even she make one really big mistake, she stay calm, and she knows that she's fast enough, so she's still fighting with the course, as we see here or last year in Rio. So congratulations to be qualified.
Yes, it's great to see. We can have a big showdown. We've got the Olympic champion, we've got the world champion in the final already. So Eva Tersel of Slovenia now coming through 11 to 12.
But next waiting is Laia, and she's really young, and after her comeback from the injury, it's really good to see that she's still fast.
Yeah, so you're almost torn, aren't you? We want Eva Tersel to make it through, but equally it'd be good to see Laia rewarded for her performance. Well, 4.93 seconds down at the moment, Eva Tersel. So in touch with a place in the final. And at the moment, really, needs to be around about inside 7 seconds. But suddenly, then that's getting tight. Oh, and that could be it. That could be the door has been opened to Laia Sorribes of Spain, because Eva Tersel has lost big amounts of time. But let's have a look. As she comes down, it's going to be tight, but I think it is going to be inside. Eva Tersel of Slovenia.
Well,
how did she do that?
Such a big mistake, and she is still in.
So it is Tersel of Slovenia goes into the final, just ahead of Jessica Fox. So 1 boat still to go, and surely one of the form boats of the last few years. It's Ricarda Funk of Germany.
She is really light, but her power, it's unbelievable.
Well, she was 2nd last weekend in Lee Valley in London at the first World Cup of the season. So she got underway on the podium. European champion in 2018. She was a World Championship bronze medalist in 2018. And she's in touch at the early stage. And as you say, she's very light, but hugely powerful, and really has dominated the women's kayak field over the last 3-4 years.
Yeah, I think that in her training group is Hannes Eigner, also one of the best paddlers in K1m, so it also helped her, because she see that the men will always do things faster, but she is trying to do to beat Hannes maybe sometimes in some shorts, because her sprinting, it's unbelievable. I saw many videos with her sprinting, and sometimes she is much faster, like some best pedalers, K1 men.
Well, Ricarda Funk of Germany she's closed the gap. She's a little bit low in 21, but she's held the boat speed, and she's absolutely on track for a place in the final. Tight in 22, that's how to do it. And surely Ricarda Funk of Germany is into the final. The question is she going to take the race lead here? It's going to be tight. It is into the race lead, and look at that. She is the first of our women's kayak paddlers to go under 100 seconds. She puts the marker down for those still to come.
I think the biggest surprise is Ivy, because she's just 15 years old, and this is her first race in a senior event, like such a World Cup or any World Championship, and she is already in final, so congrats.
Well, Sona Stanovska alongside me, Andy Maddock, here in the commentary box. The semi-finals are done in the men's C1 and the women's K1. We've got the finals coming up in, less than an hour. And Ricarda Funk of Germany will go off last in that women's kayak final. Karina Kundler second, Victoria Wolfhard third, Evie Liebfarth fourth. The United States of America, just 15 years of age, is qualified. Luca Jones of New Zealand, Mayelen Charot of Spain, Marie-Zilia Lafont of France, Veronika Vojtova of the Czech Republic, Eva Tersel of Slovenia. World champion Jessica Fox of Australia is going to lead off the women's kayak final, and certainly, well, we're in for a treat later on. 12 o'clock today, the men's C1 final gets underway. So here are the results from the women's kayak semi-final. Ricarda Funk of Germany confirmed as the winner. She'll go off last in the final. Karina Kundler of Austria, world champion from 2011 on this course, will go off second to last. Then also Mayelen Charot of Spain, the Olympic champion, will also be in that final alongside the world champion Jessica Fox of Australia. Big surprises, unfortunately. No one from Slovakia, Jana Dukatova and Eliška Mintalova not making it through on this occasion. But exciting final look forward to nonetheless. And, well, the big highlight there will be Evie Liebfarth of the United States of America, just 15 years of age and into her first senior final.